Hey you guys, how are you this morning, Facebook land? I hope you're doing well. So I was thinking about a couple of things. It's a really foggy day. Didn't some of y'all think it interesting that Billy Graham died yesterday and it was so rainy? How God thinks of his children, and how tears fall for people. And I mean, maybe it was tears because that's what we're feeling, but I know God was happy. Anyway, what a great man of God, who, led a life of purity. Hey, Terrence, love you, man. You doing good? Miss seeing you. Well, anyway, so God's doing, giving heroes their salute with that rain. And just remember that you're a hero today too, as you go throughout your day. Have fun. Keep your imagination going. Well, as I was driving, I kind of was looking out and seeing the freeway and how, there are like 5 lanes of traffic that were like really slow. But then I was in the HOV lane where you could go really fast. And I was like, wow, isn't it interesting the different perspectives that we have in life? Some people are in the HOV lane and they know their path. They know they're a single vessel just flooded and going in the way that God wants you, that you have your vision focused, right? Your vision's focused, you know where you're going, and so you can go really fast. But sometimes what happens with us is that we get on a huge freeway and we're vying for a position.
Exit ahead in 2 point.
I'm sorry about that. That we're going slower because our vision is fogged up with the cars in front of us and maybe the fog that I'm seeing right now and haze, and we just don't have a really good clear picture. Things can look foggy, and we might be looking at the other car, or oh my gosh, look at that. Like here, I'll give you an example. Okay, look. When you're driving, you can see different cars and maybe, oh, that car looks great, and oh, look at that one, and oh, they're going over there, but yet you don't have a real good clear focus or perspective of where you're going. And that's a problem. And so how do we clear our focus up when we might not be driving in our own lane? I'm going to give you another visual here. So sometimes
in 2 miles,
visual to actually figure out where. So sometimes we actually need a visual to see where we're going. I want to encourage each one of you today, stay in your lane. Your lane is an important lane. Where God has put you, it is important. And you just have got to stick in that lane to figure out, and to still realize your effectiveness with God, okay? Because everybody is effective. Sometimes you can work in a job and you don't maybe feel like you're thriving, and it could be because it's not about the work, but it could be about the people around you. It could be about you learning an issue that God has in your character, your attitude. I didn't go to Soho High, but that's really interesting. No, I didn't. I went to school in Texas. Good question. So anyway, I was just going to tell you guys that just in life, figure out your lane. Don't get distracted and look at somebody in another lane and wish you were that. But go back to what God has said over you and believe it and stay in that lane and expect Him to show up. If you don't expect God to show up in the lane that He said, then He's not going to show up. Do you know what I'm saying? don't be that person, Thomas, full of doubt and wonder. You know, ride the lane.
Take exit 5A.
Who's walking with me, who's not, whatever. That Jesus never said that. Sometimes it just, remember, Jesus even walked without the disciples. So don't go, oh, nobody's following me. Jesus was a leader because he was led by the
Turn right onto Pines.
I want you to hear that again. Don't look and say, I'm not a leader because nobody's following me.
Turn right onto Hollies.
That's really true. Why? Because Jesus just did what the Father told him to do, okay?
Turn right onto Maple.
And I want to tell you something, that's good enough. Because
In a quarter mile.
totally alone when he went to the woman at the well. The disciples got hungry, they got distracted, they didn't know what was going on. And so I just want to tell you that sometimes leaders are lonely. And that's not a fun thing, right? I mean, if you've ever been in leadership, sometimes leadership is lonely. Even, you could be on a street like this too. Look at the street.
Turn right onto Inglewood.
Maybe that's the house that God wants for you. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like, God, give me that house, you know? But, you know, don't look to the left or to the right, because you just never know what God has for you. You got
In a
to,
quarter mile.
even though sometimes it could be lonely, maybe that is the lesson you're walking through, where you walk through God and trust him alone. And maybe it's been scary for you walking alone in the past, and it's just not something you like to do. But you know what? Do it anyway. So all I'm saying is, you know, you need to check it out, because it might be a pretty good place God has for you. Look at that. You never know. God could have some cool places for you to go to, cool people for you to meet. But if you're not willing to go in a way you've never gone before, you're not going to go there. Do you get what I'm saying? And, you know, maybe God wants you to meet some of these people. Why? Maybe it's because there's a divine setup and you need to get ready to meet them. So, you know, all I'm saying is just be willing to do something a little bit different every now and then. So,
In a quarter mile. Turn right onto Pauline Street.
So all I'm saying is, don't get distracted. Don't look at somebody else's something and wonder why you don't got this. That's stupid, because it's your pathway. It's not somebody else's. So just relax. Just take one little step at a time, what God tells you to do, whether somebody's following.
Turn right onto Pauline Street. Then turn right onto
And
Pine Street.
then just do it. And take the little directions like you hear my GPS saying. Just go right and then go left, and you'll hear the voice of God. God will show up. He'll do what he said he was going to do. So that's my encouragement for you today. I love you guys, and I want you to keep the path no matter what, because God's going to do it.